Luke chapter 13, from verse 6 onwards, he goes on to talk of a parable. And in that parable, there are very interesting things that we need to observe. He talks of this parable and he says, there was a vineyard. The owner of the vineyard had very specifically, intentionally planted a single fig tree right at the center of it. And year after year, the Bible says in this parable, that the owner would come back to look for fruit. And any common reasoning would tell us that if he were looking for fruit in a vineyard, the fruit that he would be looking for is wine, grape wine. Now, unfortunately, this owner was coming in to look for fruit in that particular single fig tree that was planted right in the middle of that vineyard. And it says year after year he came. It doesn't say how many times in a year, but he came year after year and found no fruit. And so he comes to a conclusion. He looks at the gardener there and he says, this tree is spoiling the ground. Why don't we have it cut down at the roots? So the mysterious thing about it is for looking for fig fruit in a vineyard. That's something mysterious. And the other thing that is mysterious is to ask the gardener to cut it down at the roots rather than leave it and plant another fig. When we talk about sins, we very often talk about the sins of commission. If you murder, it is sin. If you steal, it is sin. If you speak a lie, it is a sin. Now, sins of commission. But we very seldom look at the fact that in the Bible, there is a lot of emphasis on the sins of omission, just as much emphasis there is on the sins of commission. Luke chapter 16 talks about the rich man and Lazarus. Here was a man who was dressed well and lived a comfortable life. And then the story goes on to say that he went to hell. And when I look at that, I'll have to ask myself, is it wrong to dress up well and live in comfort or live a comfortable life? But that's not it. When you look at his life, although the sins of commission are not mentioned there, we are very clear by looking at this man's life that he was indulging in a lot of sins of omission. Jesus makes it very clear in his statement in Matthew chapter 25. Then he will say to those on the left, leave me, you cursed ones, into the eternal fire which has been prepared for the devil and his angels. I was hungry and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, you did not invite me. I was naked and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison and you did not visit me. Words that tell us that they indulged in sins of omission. They did not feed, they did not give water, they did not clothe, they did not visit. Sins of omission were taking them to hell, not sins of commission.